Homebuyer demand continued to increase in the month of November, with sales up 28% relative to this time last year, riding off the momentum that we had in October, where sales were up 30% relative to this time last year. So what exactly is happening in the market, and what does this mean? I'm Adina with Adina, YVR, Vancouver Real Estate Group, and Oakland Realty, here with your December 2024 market update. Let's jump right into the numbers and take a look at what's happening. Let's start off looking at sales. In the month of November, we had just under 2,200 homes sold on the MLS. This is down 17% relative to October, but it's up 28% relative to this time last year. And it's only 13% below the 10-year sales average for the month of November. Looking at this by property type, we see that the highest gains were in the attached townhome and duplex segment, where sales were up 43% relative to this time last year. Condo apartments were up 28% relative to this time last year, and detached homes were up about 20% relative to this time last year. When we first saw the numbers in October with a big uptick in sales, we were all waiting to see if this would be an emerging trend or just a data point and a little blip in the market. And now looking at the month of November and what we're already seeing in December, it seems pretty clear that the momentum is there. Buyers are taking a more active role in the market, and they're jumping off the sidelines to take advantage of these balanced market conditions. Taking a look at the supply side, we had just over 3,700 homes newly listed for sale on the MLS in the month of November. This is a decrease of 32% relative to October, but it's an increase of 11% relative to this time last year, and it's about 5% relative to the 10-year sales average for the month of November. Looking at total supply of homes available for sale, we saw this number decrease to 13,245. This is down from October by about 8.5%, yet it's an increase of 21% relative to this time last year, and it's a 26% increase over the 10-year sales average for the month of November. So overall, although buyers are becoming more active in the marketplace, there's still a lot of supply and selection to choose from in the marketplace. It's down a little bit relative to October, but it's still up 20% relative to this time last year, and it's still higher than we traditionally see in the month of November. So how is all of this impacting prices? Well, to look at what's happening with prices, we want to look at that balance between supply and demand. Specifically, we want to look at the sales to active listings ratio, and that looks at the number of sales in a given month, or the demand, relative to the number of active listings left over at the end of the month, which is the total supply. And this ratio tells us if prices are on their way up or down. When this ratio is over 21% for a sustained period of time, prices are typically on their way up. And when this ratio is below 12% for a sustained period of time, prices are on their way down. Anything in between, we're in a balanced market territory where prices stabilize. In the month of November, our sales to active listing ratio was 17%. This is down slightly relative to October, where it was 18.8%, but it's still in healthy balanced market territory. And this is up significantly relative to September, where we were at 12.8%, and we were right on the cusp of balanced market territory. So there's been a clear shift in the market now. Looking at this by property type, we see that for detached homes, the sales to active listings ratio is 12.7%, so it's still in balanced market territory, but it has decreased from October when it was at 13.4%. For attached townhomes and duplexes, the ratio has increased to 23.1%, so it's still in seller's market territory, and it's an increase from October when it was at 22.5%. For condo apartments, we've seen a slight decrease to 18.7%. Back down to balanced market territory, and this is down from October when it was in seller's market territory at 22.2%. So what does this mean for prices? Being in balanced market territory means that we expect to see prices stabilize, but that is dependent on what happens with demand and supply as we come into the new year. Traditionally in December, we do see a lot of listings coming off the market, and then oftentimes they will relist on the market in January. When we started the year off in January last year, we came into the new year with record low inventory levels, and that's why the activity started to heat up so quickly in January, February, and March. So what we expect to see in the new year will really be dependent on what happens with those inventory levels. If inventory levels don't pick up, it's very likely that the market will heat up as we head into the new year. But if inventory levels do increase, we do expect prices to stabilize. So where are prices right now? The HPI composite benchmark price for all property types is almost unchanged relative to October. It's currently $1,172,000. This is down almost 1% relative to this time last year. Looking at this by property type, we see that for detached homes, the benchmark price is currently $1,997,000. This is a decrease of 0.3% relative to October, yet it's an increase of 1% relative to November of last year. For attached townhomes and duplexes, the benchmark price is currently $1,117,000. This is an increase of 0.8% relative to October, and it's an increase of 1.8% relative to November of last year. For condo apartments, the benchmark price is currently just shy of $753,000. This is a decrease of 0.6% relative to October, and it's a decrease of 1.2% relative to November of last year. So what does all this mean? Well, as we head into the holidays, we typically see activity slowing down. I do think this is always a great opportunity for sharp buyers who are on the lookout for great deals, as you might catch a motivated seller who really wants to sell before the end of the year. So for buyers, I'd say keep your radar up and keep looking. If you're thinking of getting into the market, moving up the market, or selling in the new year, now is also a great time to sit down with your realtor and create your plan so that you can get ahead of the market next year. If you're thinking of making a move and would like to discuss your opportunities, you could schedule a consultation by clicking the link in my bio on Instagram or clicking the link down below in the description here on YouTube. In the meantime, to stay up to date with what's happening in the market, you could hit subscribe here on YouTube, or you could follow me on Instagram at adina.yvr. That's it for now. Have a great rest of the month, and I can't wait to see you in the new year.